Hello, everyone. I'm Yvonne, a children's librarian here at the Manchester City Library, and I want to welcome you all to our fall STEAM-powered stories. These story times are aimed at grades 3 to 5 and have a science, technology, engineering, art, or math component. Our story portions and our kits are actually going to be given out exclusively in person at the library. So please visit our website and register for those if you are nearby and are able to join us. But I also thought that we could continue posting some of our crafts and activities here so that we can share them with as many people as possible. So that being said, I'd really like to get into this week's STEAM-powered story. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's STEAM-powered story, where we are going to talk about gravity and balance. Gravity is actually a really cool and interesting thing that affects every part of our lives and that we really don't think about hardly at all. So you guys may know gravity mainly through like how much something weighs, which is also an interesting topic because weight is actually determined by how much the Earth's gravity pulls on you or on a chair or on the house or a leaf on a tree. So that is not actually consistent because it depends on the gravity of the larger object, in this case, the Earth. But if you went onto a different planet or something like the moon, your weight would be different, even though you yourself have the same amount of stuff, or you're made up of the same amount of matter, which is what we call the stuff that everything is made of. In this STEAM-powered story, we're going to look a little bit about the intersection between gravity and balance. And that is going to bring us to our very first activity, where we are going to look at a mobile and see how balance and gravity affects designing our own mobile. Okay, let's grab things for. All right, so to make a mobile, you're going to need some either sticks or pieces of cardboard, something like these dowels here. Get some string to tie everything together. Then you're also going to need some fun things to hang from your mobile. I made some fun foam shapes. You can also do things like very small rocks or even like I know I had a friend who made a mobile out of candy wrappers. If you have some small toys that you don't mind tying onto a mobile for a little while, those are really cool. Really just anything that you have laying around that you don't mind being stuck hanging in the air for a little while. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to get your first base. I use this dowel here, this stick, and then tie in the center of it a piece of string, and then kind of continue to do that for however many levels that you want to put onto your mobile. And so this is going to show how really highlight the center of gravity of objects. And basically what that is, it's the point at which something is balanced. Like here, I have a popsicle stick, also like pencils work for this. And you can find that center of gravity by just finding where it balances on your finger. And that is normally going to be about in the center, right? So when we put together our mobile, we're going to balance it as we go. So we put our first one together, then we tie in our second level, that is here. And each of these are going to need to be balanced because they're all going to weigh slightly different. And you can do that by adjusting how they hang together. Let's zoom out a little bit. So here, it's relatively balanced except for this part here. And how you can change how something is balanced. If you guys have ever used a seesaw, you know that if something is in the center of balance and you have two people or things of about the same weight, then they will go up and down really smoothly, and you can even make it so that it stays level. But if you guys have ever been on a seesaw with like an older friend or parent or someone who's just heavier than you, you know that you can get stuck up in the air, right? If something is heavier. Well, a way to counterbalance that, if you are the lighter person, is to actually scoot further out along the seesaw. And being farther out will give you more leverage and mean that even if someone is heavier, you can still balance the seesaw more. And that's basically what we're going to do when we add things to our mobile. Okay, so I have added paper clips to my mobile, so this will be really easy for me to take things on and off and show you guys. So here, we're going to start off with this circle. So you guys can see how we've got a large heart and a kind of large circle and then a small heart on this side. So obviously the small heart is stuck up in the air. So what we can do is a couple different things. The small heart is already pretty far towards the end of our seesaw on this part of the mobile. So what we can do is we can actually scoot the larger heart and circle closer in. And we can rebalance it that way, right? And so you can do this with your mobile so that even if you decide to put like a very small rock on one side, then it is possible that we could balance it out with our foam pieces. Right, so here we have as a very small rock. We're going to put it on this side. Look at that, it's much heavier. So what we're gonna do is let's put a pretty big foam circle. Alright, let's see if we can balance this. What we'll do is we'll scoot our very small rock in towards the center, which should help our balance. And we have our foam towards the edge. Right? There we go. So we've got that balanced out by just manipulating where the center of gravity is. And then let's see how that affected the rest of our mobile, because remember we already balanced this side out. But now, a very small rock has disrupted that. So let's balance this side again. We're gonna move in. And there we go. We've rebalanced our mobile. So like I said, you guys can go around and try and find some really cool things to put together with your mobile. And then you can have an adult or someone who can make sure that you're hanging it somewhere where it's okay to hang, because sometimes there are rules about that. But yeah, then you can hang it up somewhere and enjoy it until you're tired of it, and then as long as you haven't glued anything down, we can just take off our things we've decided to hang, cut some string, and put everything back away. I hope you guys enjoyed this exercise in balance, but don't go away yet. We have some more fun things to balance. So let's talk about our craft. All right, everyone. If you were able to come in person to our STEAM-powered stories here at the Manchester City Library, then you will have gotten a craft kit. If you were not able to attend in person, you can see if there are craft kits still available in the glassed-in entryway to the children's room here at the library. If you cannot do either, because maybe you're watching this later, or that we just have run out, it's okay because we can gather most of these things pretty easily. So what we have is we have a dowel. In this case, this is actually a chopstick. We've got a pipe cleaner. We have a popsicle stick and two clothespins that are the same size. Okay, so what we're talking about here is, again, a center of balance and kind of more actively. So like, I think that all of us have probably experienced kind of what we're going to be demonstrating right here. If you guys have ever tried to walk across like a balance beam or even have walked on the curb of a sidewalk, or have ever gone over kind of like a scary bridge even, you definitely have this like instinct to either crouch down low and kind of crawl across the bridge, especially if it's like a fallen tree or something like that, or else it's to hold your arms out, right, to kind of balance yourself. And we're kind of going to look at why that is helpful. So with our mobile in our activity, we talked about how the center of balance works kind of on a horizontal plane, right? But human beings are kind of built more vertically, right? So instead of laying down like this popsicle stick does across the finger, human beings kind of stand up, which makes it harder for us to balance. Because if you try and balance a popsicle stick vertically, that's really hard. Even if you have a pencil, which has like, a rounder base, it's still a lot harder to balance up and down rather than laying on its side. Because the center of gravity, when the popsicle stick or the human being is standing upright, is still in the center of the stick. And that is farther away from the point that is being balanced. So if something has a higher center of gravity, it's generally easier to knock over and more difficult to balance. So a way of moving that center of gravity vertically is kind of similar to our mobile, where we move the center of gravity horizontally, right? And one of those ways is to basically extend the arms of our popsicle stick. First, of course, we have to give it arms, which is where our pipe cleaner comes in. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the center of our pipe cleaner, right? And then we are going to wrap it around our popsicle stick. If you need to wrap it a couple times to make it stick, that's okay. I think this is good. And then, so those are kind of like arms. And then we're going to clip, and then we're going to take our clothespins and clip it on to the ends of our pipe cleaners. And what this is going to do is this is going to really help lower the center of gravity. All right, so it might take some adjustments, but eventually we do get a popsicle stick with a much lower center of gravity, which means we can balance it on our finger, possibly. There we go, on the chopstick that was included in the kit. And if this guide reminds you of tightrope walkers, then that is not surprising, both because that's the name of the craft, and also because tightrope walkers, because what they're balancing on is so very thin and it is so very high and usually dangerous for them, they do want to depend on more than just putting their arms out for extra balance, but they use the very long poles, and if you look, those poles often have extra weight at the very end, just like our clothespins, to make it that much safer for them as they are walking on that high wire. So I hope that you guys enjoyed making our tightrope walker with me today, and I hope it gives you some insight into other types of toys and also just why we do some of the things we do in everyday life. I have one more kind of activity that I want to show you guys. It's a little bit of a puzzle, so I hope that you will take some time to try and figure it out. All right, so this is our last activity for our gravity and balance, and it's definitely more of a challenge for you guys. If you can get these items together to try and figure it out yourself, it's really fun to try and work on. I will give the solution at the very end of this if you guys just want to see that, or if you can't figure it out, because it's okay if you can't do everything on your own. That's what we're here for. It's all about figuring out why something ended up working or even why it didn't. But the challenge we're working on today is if you have 12 nails and you have one nail that is safely stuck into wood or cardboard, how do you balance the other 11 nails onto the head of this one nail? You can't put any others into the cardboard or wood. They shouldn't even touch the cardboard or wood after you stack them all together. I have to say that I did see this challenge elsewhere in the world and immediately thought about you guys. So take some time and try and figure out how you would do it. It's definitely tricky. It's not immediately like something that springs to mind. I have to admit, I did not figure it out by myself, but I thought it would be cool to throw open to you guys, especially if you think about all that we have learned here today about like center of gravity and how setting things up in different ways affects the balance. Okay, I hope you guys enjoy this challenge, and I'll put the solution at the end if you're interested. All right, everyone, I hope that you enjoyed this week's STEAM-powered stories and all of our activities. I want to remind you guys that if you do want to come and do these activities and crafts in person, then to check out our website at the Manchester City Library and sign up for our in-person STEAM-powered stories. Also, you should take a look because we are going to start up some winter reading as we get into December. So if you want to do that, there's going to be some more fun activities and stuff to do in the library. And we are going to continue with STEAM-powered stories every other Tuesday as we move forward. So yeah, I think that is everything, and I hope you guys have a great couple weeks till I see you again. Bye! solution to this challenge is to take one nail and lay it down, and then put the other nails like this, and the last one, lay that on top. So when you pick it up, I think that looks somewhat familiar with all the other gravity experiments that we have done today. We have got this, which is similar to how we balanced our tightrope rocker that we made, and also balancing horizontally like our mole. I hope that you guys enjoy trying to figure this out and that the solution brings you joy.